Hi folks, welcome to the Team Regionals event. We are watching one of the games tonight, and as you can see here we only have 4 teams remaining, and this is the game we are going to watch. So this pairing, Knights of the Crockery Buffet, Argento is going to play against Derbo from HouseHannover, and as you can see, HouseHannover is leading this pairing because they won the first game. So if they win the next one, they win the match. Otherwise, there will be a decider in the third game, obviously between Leonard and Alex. So that would be really nice to see. Well, it will be nice to see either way, but if it's 1-1, it will be even more special. So it's open deck lists in this tournament, and we have the decks for you here. So this is the deck from Derbo. We have Greyjoy, Fealty, and what do we have here? Anything special? So obviously we have to keep an eye on the resets. There is Morgulis, there is the Maiden to open, Brand the Builder, so pretty standard. And we have all the high cost characters. 6 cost Asha because the restricted list is now a factor for this deck, and now Alanis. But everything else should be here. And okay, slight surprise is 2 copies of Put to the Sword. That should be interesting thread that Argento will have to keep an eye on. And we have 3 pikes. So lots of locations, lots of warships that get reduced. And we'll see if that does any damage. And let's see the other deck. So this is Stark Fealty. What do we have here? Also, Morgulis as the reset and Political Disaster. That should be a nice tool against that Greyjoy deck. We have Heir to the Iron Throne. That's going to trade one of the little lords for a bigger one. We have some economy. Pointy End as well could be useful against Renown. And the Crown to avoid the reset from the other side, because a lot of the characters here will have Strength 1 or even Strength X, like the case of Daisy. Okay, so the usual Mormont ladies that have Renown. There is Robb Stark that has Renown and the stand ability. Anything else that stands out? I don't think so. Wyman Manderly, obviously. Some winter plots. Let's see if this one is playing. None on this side, and we have Winter Festival here. So okay, Mira is not going back into Shadows, except for one time perhaps. We have the bodyguards, only the basic location set with economy and Winterfell. So obviously with Political Disaster that makes perfect sense. And we have the Claim Raise and even a copy of the North Remembers. No Ricard in the deck. So the restricted card here is now, of course, Robb Stark. On the restricted list since the last update. And I believe the game has started a little bit early. Yes, here we go. So we are in round 1. This is what we have after the opening marshalling. We have Fast Eddard on one side, on opening with Winter Festival to gain some power very quickly. We have Bran to cancel events. Rickon presumably is going to get traded with Heir to the Iron Throne. And there is even some stand here for Eddard. He is protected with a bodyguard. And on the other side we have Meister Murimur. Looks like he's doing a challenge. I guess nothing really to cancel, there is just economy. And we have Victarion, who currently has 3 warships to work with, and 2 of those don't have any abilities, so they can be freely used with him. So I guess he is standing twice and possibly gaining renown if the opportunity is right for that, and an eager deckhand in play as well. So that's the situation, and immediately Derbo, I think his real name is Christian, going for the power gain with Great Kraken here. Yeah, he's on 6 cards, so no use really drawing anything unless the hand is really bad. So just to let you know, there is also a Champions of Westeros game tonight while we record this, so If this game looks like it's pretty much decided and we are still it's still being played, but we know the result, I might have to end it early because I would like to catch the entire Champions of Westeros semi-final game if I can. But if it's still in the balance, then obviously we will stay with this one. Alright, intrigue from the other side. Not the worst thing, I guess. And that's the first round. Yeah, so one card actually drawn for the Great Kraken and one power gained. So, okay, preparing for possibly needing all the tools he can get here. Okay, so do we have heir to the Iron Throne now? Possibly to grab Rob or something. And I'm guessing Bran the Builder on the other side, right? Ah, Forced March instead. So trading this little eager deckhand from Eddard for Eddard and yeah, resolving this first. Interesting. Because now Recon could be traded for Rob and then Rob will be standing, whereas doing heir first you could then possibly kneel Victarion since he stands himself, although there is a limit to that, so it's not like it's completely free if you want to do that. And of course Robb Stark has his ability now. The question is when exactly he triggers it. Not triggering it here, as you can see. I guess because it's not standing enough characters. So Jane can potentially stand Eddard. Then you can do one challenge and then you do Rob if you have a trigger for him, and very likely that there will be something. There could be Wyman Manderley, there could be that the North remembers that we saw. And of course, if any event gets played, Bran can be used. Now, is there a Drown God Fanatic? Let me just see. Of course, 3 copies, so I'm guessing that will be left for Rob where possible. Alright. Balon coming in, so he most likely will not be defended. He has stealth to get past the strongest character. There is also Iron Fleet Scout. Okay, sorry about that. Just a bit of a scheduling conflict. I thought I would need to record the other game as well, but we have managed to find another solution there. So going back to this one. So let's see what's happened in the meantime. We have we did have the North Remembers in hand for an on-demand rob, I guess. What's the trigger here? Sorry. After a character control is killed. Okay, so that should be happening anyway, because the Greyjoy deck simply has to do the challenges to gain its renown on Balon and Victarion. And now we have 2 renowned bodies on the other side as well, so this could be pretty handy. The problem is, of course, that they are not protected except for Eddard. Winter is coming, used on the power challenge to increase claim. And now it would be nice to know what the Greyjoy deck has here in hand in terms of saves, of course, because Morgul is played by both decks. And yeah, the plot selected quite quickly. More time taken by Argento, and Argento goes for political disaster before the brand builder that will find some locations and get them back. Yeah, if Morgulis is played, obviously with Stark with no hand means it would hit quite hard. But political disaster, and if you keep the 2 economy locations, then you are on 4 gold with nothing else in terms of locations in place. So it kind of makes sense, but still useful even if it didn't quite hit that Morgulis. And Argento finds some time to potentially find some dupes. Heir to the Throne is of course a great plot for that. You can find dupes if you play it into Morgulis, but only 1 copy. And Brand the Builder has a search in its text, so if it tries to trigger, it has to count on recon. Now, even though Morgulis is played by both decks, there's no guarantee that we will reach that stage, of course. We could have a quick rush here. There's 3 renown on Stark's side. Here we have a bodyguard, exactly what was needed. So 3 renown with another trigger, so that's 4 in 1 challenge you can get, and then you do another. It goes from 6 to 10 and then to 14, and the power claim, for instance, that would be an immediate win. And there is a stand on demand with Greywind being able to eat, for instance, Jane or Recon. But of course 1 cancel would take care of that plan. And also there is a question whether Greyjoy will have enough strength to defend. And there is every chance. Yeah. 3 big bodies on the power challenge. They should be able to defend. Military slightly more difficult because there is also Greywind that can join. Let's do a quick calculation. It would be 19 on military on one side, then we have 20 on the other. And no surprises anymore, no cards in hand for Argento. So let's see, he goes for the power with everyone except Jane, because she needs to be used, I guess. And that means 15, which means Christian can defend it. But he, of course, only has the one stand on Victorian, so when Rob stands everyone, Argento can go for the big military to gain renown there. And that's I guess a nice compromise that gets us into another round, I guess. Now, can this be done without killing Recon? I don't think so. Jane can stand one, but not strong enough to get past Victorian, so I guess Greywind has to be used here for the stand, unless Brand the Builder tries to search, and then Recon can be sacrificed. Because Greywind obviously would much rather eat Meister Morenmore here. Yeah, not giving Recon that chance, so not using Brand the Builder. And pillaging Mira, she would have been nice next round, which could potentially have been the closing round. Oh, but Euron grabs Winterfell. So if Argento goes for a big military challenge and leaves everyone knelt, of course, then we have the counter attack, 3 challenges back with 2 great Kraken triggers, and it's quite close to 15, so he might even have to play this one defensively and wait for a better chance. And he himself is not really protected against Winterfell, only has that one Winter Festival, as we saw. Is he eating the deckhand or Recon here? It's Jane. Alright. And the North remembers, comes back with that. And no more intrigue icons, so I guess he will be able to keep that. Now is it... yeah, not really useful in the short term, obviously. It doesn't have the gold either. But next round, to trigger up could be quite nice. So I guess he's doing a challenge with the Renowns now to be able to win, and then Greywind can oppose, right? So that he doesn't give too much away, or is he leaving one of the characters standing to oppose power as well? Greywind and Rob, okay. That's 9. That means Intimidate comes into play as well from Greywind, so if Victorian defends, then Eager Deckhand gets intimidated. Victorian only stands once, and then doesn't have the strength from just what we see in play to do the challenge back against Eddard and Mage. So not a lot of power gained here for Argento, but he's played quite well in a defensive way here. So he's not going to give much away either. And doesn't seem like Christian has anything here. He can stand Victorian once, but doesn't seem to achieve much. He loses dominance, or he loses any challenge he tries to do, unless there is something else he has in hand. Yeah, just passing, so both players now within range of being able to win. So what's the initiative situation? Obviously still need to keep an eye on those two Morgulises, but Greyjoy can play March to the Wall, I think, as the highest initiative plot. Has the Maiden as well from the opening. And Stark has nothing close to that. So Stark's option would be, I guess, to play the pointy end. If it's Morgulis, you can get rid of a dupe. If it's not, you can target the Renown. You can target the Renown anyway, because you can probably guess that if Christian reveals Morgulis that he has saves. But I don't think that's needed. I think we'll see marched into the pointy end here. Excellent prediction. Got both of them right. Okay, Morgulis from Argento. He has 2 bodyguards. And we have Brand the Builder on the other side. So 2 bodyguards and a dupe against 1 dupe, and mysterious number of saves that could be 0, or it could be enough to save Balon and Euron, for instance. Oh, none at all. Yeah, that's gotta hurt pretty badly. And 2 big uniques in the death pile now. No claim, but plenty of renown. And we have that North Remembers still in hand, which I'm guessing is not really going to hurt. Surely among these 7 cards there is some cheap location or some claim soak that you can put into play. Rob Stark gets a dupe, which means the counter Morgulis that is an option for a Christian is not going to hit as hard as it would have done previously. Well, I think he needs another character and possibly a warship here for Victarion would be nice. No warships, otherwise this guy would have been free. Okay, so not the best hand here for Christian. Yeah, and march to the wall would have been it. I guess it would have needed to trigger first then, just to keep someone alive, since triggering Morgulis first just leaves him with Victarion. Alright, now there is no claim, but how much damage can they do? 3 gold, plenty to trigger the North remembers. Okay, just passes. Never mind, I was thinking he does military with both, and that would be 3 power, then he sacks recon, then he does power, does it again, but it's not so easy because there is defense. Of course they only have 11, yeah, which is enough to be fair, but there is also Winterfell, so if you put 2 into a challenge and then Winterfell is triggered, that means the Eddard triggered isn't happening. Let's see if playing defensively was the right call again. Seems like he could have got somewhere close to, somewhere above 10 anyway, to put some pressure on, but again, if you can't get to 15, the counter-attack also hurts pretty badly if your board is not. Now let's see what happens here. Power challenge, just Victarion cannot win it. And for the military, all 3 would be needed. You can trigger Winterfell if you expect it to be defended, but it's not going to stop the printed renown, so still get 1 for Eddard and 1 for Rob. So again, he's not in a great spot. He can do intrigue without any fear. Okay, Winterfell now, that stops his plot, and it stops him using one of the warships to give Victarion renown, and it stops the Great Kraken trigger. And Argento feels like it's not worth bothering, just suffering the unopposed and the power claim, so he's going to defend this one, I guess, but this one is the full 11 strength. Now, what do you do with that the North remembers, if anything? Because if you play it here, something other than this deckhand will need to be sacked. Otherwise, the challenge is not strong enough. Doesn't look like he has any great options, so he's going to be able to win dominance at least, but I think the power challenge that he led through was the one where he had enough strength, so he could have got some renown on defense there. Now what do you do with the claim here? Do you take the dupe, knowing that your opponent has Morgulis? Or do you just take recon? Yeah, makes sense. You take recon, then we have another warship found. Yeah, keep expecting this game to be over, but still going. Not a lot of power gained by the players in the last round, just basically staying around the same levels, trading some power, and they lost some as well with the reset. And now, of course, March it hits quite hard against Late Summer Fist, so something big surely in hand after that Old Gate trigger. Here we go. What's still alive? Asha is still alive. That one copy. And she gives Victarion stealth. Okay, that will make it very difficult now for Argento to defend anything. And Victarion can try to do 2 challenges with renown. Yeah, that's not a bad board. That's not a bad board at all. There is the dupe now on Arya as well to take for claim. And 2 Northern Armories. Okay, so he can get again, if he plays aggressively, he can get some power, and this time he goes second, so there won't be just that same old plan to just pass. Okay, the North remembers is in hand, right? And we have something being played. I guess we do not sow on one of the armories, maybe. On the draw. Okay. Oh no, that's Argento triggering the draw. Sorry. Yeah, we do not sow. Takes the armory, of course. And power for unopposed. And the North remembers is gone. Yeah, I think Arya is stuck with defending this. Cannot afford any unopposed because then Christian gets to 15. Power claim and renown on Victarion. Okay, defending with romp. Renown on Victarion is going to be 13. And then there is potentially another renown on Victarion for 14, so the military challenge also needs to be opposed in that case. Oh, and the armory gets knelt. Forgot about Victarion's ability there. So those armories were never really a threat. Okay, limited number of warships here, but yeah. So that's going to be a problem now. Arya has stealth, so she will have to defend. And then there is no way for Daisy to beat Victarion on the power challenge, right? On the counterattack, I mean. Of course, spending a warship for that means that if he now does a challenge and wants to get renown, then that's the last warship gone. So he cannot do absolutely everything. He cannot do a challenge, get renown, stand again to defend. So something needs to be sacrificed, I guess. Okay, and it's happy to pass here. They both have stealth, so they will defend whatever is initiated, I guess. And we come back to the plot game. So now that missing Murgulis is one of the two remaining plots, and the other is what? Counting coppers? Which is not bad. If the board doesn't get reset from the other side, then it won't, because the other side now only has the pointy end and it has the crown. So the crown being played into Murgulis, obviously, to keep Daisy in play. Last round makes sense, but will there be another round? Because now with all the warships and the renown on Victarion, surely we'll get close to 15 now. Well, Stark has more gold. Stark has 7 if you count the Great Hall, and I guess 8 with Fealty against just the 5 with Fealty. So if nothing comes into play and we have something decent on the other side to oppose challenges. Another stealth guy with an intrigue icon and a strength increase. Alright, so if intrigue can be defended, then unopposed with Great Kraken there. Yeah, that Eddard getting marched earlier hurt really badly for Argento, so he needed that extra body that he had in recon just to survive that. And here we go. This should be 14, whatever happens, I think. And now any challenge. And they all have stealth. I can't see any miracles, so looks like Team Hanover is going to the finals. Yeah, no answer for that one. Yeah, so interesting. Argento had a lot of renown for a couple of rounds there and played defensively. I guess he did all the calculations if he attacked and Christian basically let it go and just did his challenges back with that great crack on how much damage he would have done, and Argento obviously figured that he would have lost that way. So I guess there was no way to win in the end, but I, not being that familiar with this Stark Renown type of playstyle, thought that maybe you could just go for it with everything. Either drop, try to trigger the sacrifice to stand them, do another challenge, and if Greyjoy doesn't defend properly, then you get very close to the victory. But perhaps that was not the case. So there we are. We have our first result here. So where are we? This was the match. So we have one win already here for the HouseHannover team, and this was their second one, which means that even if Leonard loses against Alex in the last one, they will still win the match. And who will they play in the final? Yeah, the Chinese team, very strong throughout this tournament. They won the first one. Which one was it? I think it was this one. It's not reported yet. They won this one, so they lead against the Norwegians, and they have 2 match points. And those games, I believe, are being played tomorrow afternoon, early in the afternoon. So hopefully we can record them. I think Zini will be playing both of them for the Norwegian team. Let's see what that team is called. The long and complicated name team, and yeah, needs to win them both to get the Norwegians to the finals. So yeah, thanks for joining me today, and hopefully we'll see you on the other games as well, and then maybe we can try our best to stream the final live next week if possible. So thanks for joining me, and have a good night.